So moving along in your life, so now you live in North Carolina. What is the vision of the family in Charlotte, the congregation in Charlotte? What is your vision, and what is the thing that you guys aspire to do?
In Charlotte, what we're aspiring to do is, first of all, we concentrate on, of course, number one, doing Yah's laws, statutes, and commandments, living it. As I mentioned earlier today, not just saying it and sprouting off precepts, but we're trying to make this our everyday life. We also strive to get our children, our sons and daughters, on track. And we try to make the Torah relevant to today, because if you don't make it relevant for them, then they're just going to think that it's just a boring story, which that they've heard so many times. So you have to bring it up to date, and that's what we strive to do. We try to empower them, get their education, go beyond high school, go to college. What is it that you're going to do to benefit the nation of Israel? And these are the things that we're aspiring to do. We want to do things greater than what our fathers have done. And we want to surpass that, and we want to teach our children to do the service, giving back to the Creator. All these things we're trying to do in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Great. Your Ima, she's such a nice lady.
Yes, sir.
Can
Absolutely.
you expound a little bit more about your mother and the greatness of the person that she is?
Oh, man. We'd be here all night, Chief. Just a phenomenal woman. Lover to life. She's very easygoing, as you know, very calm, patient. She is very supportive, very, very supportive of her children, and she loves all her children. I will say that. She's the type of mother that, some parents, they want to raise their children and send them off and out of the house. Well, my Ima's the opposite. She wouldn't mind everybody living in the house with her grandchildren. She wouldn't mind that at all. That's just the kind of person she is. She loves her family. She loves her sons. She loves her daughters. She loves her grandchildren. And growing up, in the house and seeing her, she actually inspired me to do what I'm doing now as far as teaching, because I do teach as a secular job. I watched her at the age of 11, 12 years old. She had all her children, and she went back to college. She got her associate's degree. Then she got her bachelor's degree. Then she got her master's degree. And so when I tell you inspiration, she inspired me. That's why I do what I do now. I'm actually in school finishing up my education and finishing up my bachelor's, because she inspired me to do that. Because, like I said, she had all her children, 7 children. I remember she gave me instructions to take care of my youngest, while she had to go to school. My Abba, he was at the other bayit, at the other house, taking care of the other ones. And, he would call everything okay. And my Ima would be there, and she would go to school, come back. And now it was all, you might say, well, what is this all for? And then now I see, after all these years, now she's retired. She's a retired teacher. She graduated, got all her papers, taught in the Bronx, and now she's retired. And so I thank the Creator for her life, and I pray that the Creator continues to bless her. But she definitely has been an inspiration, and she continues to be that for me and my family.
Hallelujah. Tell us something about your Abba that we might not know. Something that he did that we might not know. We'd be like, wow. Or how he was, something about his personality.
Oh, man. As I mentioned earlier, he wasn't the type of father that would put you on your lap. I mean, there were times, don't get me wrong, there were times when he would finish services, and I remember the Kohanim, the priest, had a special table, and I would wait for him, and some of my brothers and sisters, we would be little, we would wait for him to come out just so that we could say shalom. And what I appreciated about him was he always took the time to make sure he said, "Hey, shalom, son, come over here," you know. And he would say, "Everything's okay?" Like, "Yeah, well, how was Sabbath school?" You know, he would ask us questions like that. And then that was it. And then we go about our business. When we were home, I remember one day, because, you know, sometimes as, you know, teenagers or what have you, you know, you're like, oh man, you know, your father come around, your friends, and you're like, oh man, I hope he don't do nothing crazy or anything. But embarrassing, yeah. So this particular day, he came home. I'm sitting there, I'm standing there in front of my friends. You know, I was about maybe, I would say 12 or 13. I can't remember. And I had a mountain bike. I was so, you know, proud of that mountain bike because that was the in thing back then, you know. And he said, "What you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm riding my bike." You know, my friends, again, they standing there, they're looking, you know. And he said, "I could ride that bike." And I said, right there, my jaw just dropped. Now, you talking about he's in his culture now. He got his kippah on, his ketonet, and, you know, I can ride that bike. And I said, no. I'm like, no, you can't. No, you can't. Don't do this. Don't do this. And sure enough, he said, "Get off that bike, son." And he got on the bike and he rode around the thing. And the funny part about it, the amazing thing was, all of my friends around the neighborhood in my building, because I lived in the projects in Astoria, they would always come to me and say, "You know what? I wish your father was my father." And I didn't realize that. Just by the simple things, or we might have thought embarrassing things, but it was things that my friends enjoy. And he rode around that curve or whatever, and he said, "I told you I could do it." And he went upstairs to the house, and they was like, "Oh man, your dad is cool, man." And so, you know, he had another side of him that, you know, a funny side, a fun side. He would teach us how to play cards, you know, things like you know, and you like, man, you see him up on Shabbat teaching, and, you know, and then later on he's teaching you how to play cards, and, you know, I'm like, wow, this is not the same person, but those are the things that I remember. You know, people may not know about him, but you know, again, just being around my friends, he would do certain things. He would take the basketball and he'll come to the basketball court with your friends and start shoot, and he'll shoot around, and they're like, wow, and I'm like sitting there like, oh man. But then after a while, when my friends saw that it was fun, then I got used to it, you know, and I said, wow. And so now thinking back, I really appreciate that, because a lot of my friends really, really appreciated that, and they thought that he was a phenomenal man, and they wanted to be a part of my family for real. Wow. So just because of those things.
Wow, that's good. Well, what about you? How many children do you have, and how is the family, your wife? Tell us a little bit about your family.
Oh man, yeah, my family's well. My wife and I, Maisha and I, we just celebrated 23 years of marriage, and we have 3 children. I have 2 sons and a daughter. My daughter, Zahira, she's going to be 21 this year. Wow. My son, Kaziel, he's going to be 18 this year. Okay. And my youngest, Gaaliel, he's going to be 14 this year. Okay. So they all turn a year old this year. So they're doing well in school. Kaziel is college bound. Zahira's already in college, getting ready to finish up and graduate. My youngest, he's getting ready to go into high school next year. And Maisha is doing very well. She loves what she does. She's an exceptional children's teacher. She's not in the classroom per se. She goes around and, you know, sees these children that have special needs and what have you. She loves it. And, you know, things are good. And myself, I'm a teacher. I teach youthful offenders, you know, young brothers that get in trouble. You know, they're 16, 17. So I'm in there at the jail in a classroom setting, administering work, you know, ministering to them, giving them work and what have you from their home school teachers. So collectively, family's doing well. I can't complain. Y'all is great, and I'm just, you know, just happy to have a family, you know, that Yah has blessed me with.
Growing up as an Israelite, right, and you being born in this way of life, was there ever a point in your life, and this is mainly for kids that are growing now, was there a point in your life where you was like, man, I don't want to do this no more, or or you felt a certain way. Is there ever a point in your life that you felt that way?
Honestly speaking, no, because I always had the fear of the Creator. My father always talked about God, and he always talked about, if I did this, then this would happen. If I did this, this would happen. So I always had that fear. I'm gonna tell you something, Chief. I didn't even want to kiss a girl because I thought that I would get her pregnant, and I thought that my Abba would kick me out of the house. So, you know, even in that area, I was very, very, when my father spoke and he gave instructions and he would talk to us about certain things, I was the one that was very scared. I was the scaredy cat. I wouldn't do it. When I went away to college, as a young man, I remember taking my bongos, and I remember taking a lot of music, Shabbat music up there. And I remember the guys that were living next to me, they would say, "Are you coming out on Friday night?" You know, and I said, "No, I can't." I said, "From this day forward, you will not see me on Friday night. You'll on all day Saturday." I said, "I will come out Saturday night." So I had to put that, you know, in the universe and put, you know, give them that instructions, because, and they would be standing out there on Saturday night waiting for me to come out. They would hear me. I would be playing my bongos and playing it to music and stuff. They said, "What were you doing in there? Like, you was having some kind of voodoo service in there?" So you know, I just wasn't the one. I always had the fear of the Creator. You know, I was afraid that something might happen to me right away if I did something like that.
What kind of advice do you have for young people who might be swaying or might look up to you because you are an influence? You know, whether it be for being a teacher or for being someone that they see drumming and they aspire to be like you. What kind of advice do you give to young people like that?
The advice that I would give young people today is to fear the Creator. A lot of youngsters, they think that they're missing out on something. I didn't feel that way. In fact, I always thought my friends were missing out on this. And so I would give them the advice of always be the trendsetter. Be a leader. Don't be a follower. As a result, I speak from experience. Every time that I thought that people may have been looking at me funny or wrong, it turns out that they just want to be just like me. Wearing the kippah, you know, and wearing the fringes, you know. As I said, the guys told me all the time, "I wish your father was my father." They wanted to come out to the temple, you know. We just didn't have the room because we just had so many children in the house. We couldn't fit them in the station wagon. But, you know, they respected me. And so I would say, listen, just fear the Creator and be a leader, you know, and not a follower. You'd be surprised how many people would follow you and respect you. Sometimes people may see you in a different light, but all in all, they're thinking like, "Man, what's he about?" You know, and they respect you. They have more respect for you when you stand up for yourself than you, and being a leader, than you are a follower. So I would just say, just be a trendsetter, be a leader, don't be a follower.